Hi everyone. I wanted to start a live because I feel surprisingly more comfortable with doing a live than a video. And with a live I can do a longer video than 15 minutes. And I felt the urge to talk a little about our different paths that we have in our lives. If you're on the awakening path, maybe you are awakening in the now, right now. Maybe you have been on this path for a while, or maybe you have just awoken, being woke. I don't know how to pronounce it. Because in the beginning, and this is from personal stories, personal experiences, like in the beginning of the awakening path, we can feel, at one hand, we can feel very lonely, like no one is getting me, no one is on the same path as me, no one is awakening around me, and your ego can start to like take over, taking over your awakening path. And it's nothing wrong with it. I think it's part of the awakening. It has its role for you to decipher, like, what is my higher self and what is my ego? Like, what is telling me to do what? What is the difference? And actually on the awakening path, you're just getting to know yourself. Like, you're just getting to know who you really are. And with time, you will gradually like see more and more of what does feel good and what does not feel good. And I know that it feels like it's a lot of people that is awakening right now, and the awakening path it's starting to get more and more. It feels like it's going faster, like. And when you are awakening more and more, when you have been on the journey, but actually as a personal story, my awakening was pretty abrupt. It came really fast, actually, really fast. And that was, for me, a horrible experience, actually. It was horrible. It felt like it went too fast. It was too fast forward. And maybe you are experiencing that. And I want you to chill out. If you are experiencing a lot of anxiety and a lot of anger, a lot of issues with the mind and with the heart, like, the ego can really be controlling sometimes, and it can be really okay. From the beginning, what I actually wanted to say, or what I want to focusing on, is when you are in this bliss state, it feels really good. And the ego, it can start to like, it wants to capture that feeling. It wants you to stay in that feeling. And when you are in that bliss state, you feel like you're on the top of the world. Like you can do anything. You're invincible. And it feels like you know everything. I know everything. And then you feel, maybe you don't notice it, but your ego can start to judge all the people that is not on the awakening path, that is not woke. And I want you to start to be a little bit more conscious, not to judge, but to be more conscious of that this path that you are on is for you. And my path is my path. We have these different roles in the world, and not all of the humans can be awake at the same time, because that is acquiring a lot of energy, and we are not ready. We can't really handle that amount of energy at one time. And because the awakening path is pretty confusing, because the human mind tries to figure everything out. Like, it tries to figure everything that is going on the awakening path. It tries to figure out, like, what is happening? Why am I feeling like this? What should I do now? And it's so exhausting. And if every human would start to be awakening at the same time, it would be just chaos. And some of us on the planet, like some of the humans, has to go first, like has to be awakening on the awakening path or being woke first, so then they can clear their own path first. And when you feel like you have found your own blueprint, or your own self, your own the way you are, the way my path is, then you can start to, then you will be your path. Actually, you will be your path, and this path will show other people how they want to be, or how they are within themselves. But you don't have to go and wake people up. Maybe that is not it's not your job to do, because the right people will be drawn to you. The right people will come to you when they are ready. Like, I can see it as because we are not in control. We are not the one controlling our path. We can choose a higher version of ourselves that we know exists. An example is that I have chosen to do this video, but I could also choose not to do it. But it feels like my higher version wants to do this video. Because I don't care if someone sees it or not. I know that the right people will see it when it's time. Because, yeah, that is my highest knowing. That is my inner knowing. And I know that we can't be trying to make people be awake. We have to wait for them to come to us. And I believe that many are being awakened right now, and a lot of people are becoming awake in the future, and maybe some will not do it this lifetime. And that is what I'm wanting you to know. Like, the awakening path isn't for everyone, but for someone, they're having a pretty abrupt awakening because it is time, and maybe it's like it is time right now. And when it is time right now, it can feel really scary, because it's happening so fast and your mind doesn't know what is happening. You're trying to figure everything out. You try to be you as you were but then your ego is trying to hold yourself to what was you, to what it is, the ego is identifying you with. And that you maybe is not really existing anymore, or that you isn't you. That is it's a construction, it's a building up from the past of everything you've been doing, saying, your environment, your parents, your everything. It's you're a product of everything that's been in your past, or what you've been through. So when you are awakening, you are stepping into a new you, like getting to know who you are, getting to know who you are, who we are deep inside. Because we aren't from here, we aren't from Earth. We are a soul, we have a soul, and we are a higher self. And this is who you are getting to know. And the awakening, I feel the longer I go through my awakening, and the longer I reach my path, the more humble I get. Because you will feel more, but you will gradually see that you're enough and that everything is like perfect. That's hard. You can't explain that knowing, you have to feel it, and you have to see it with your own eyes, because I can't explain what you can't see yet. But the more you evolve and the more you learn, the more you see of who you are, you will understand. But it will be from an inner knowing, not with the mind. It's a feeling. And I know that the healing isn't... When I feel bliss, when I feel in this higher version of me, I know that I can as easily go down, like in these lower versions, and be healing something. And then I won't be in this higher states of being. But today I know that it is perfect. It is healing. I heal. But so many of us in the awakening path, we come in this like oneness state and this higher bliss states of being, and then we want to feel that all the time. And I'm sorry, but you can't really do that. Maybe you can, but then you have to be a highly evolved being. And when we have this ego with us, that it is this product of what we have been. You have a lot of wounds, and these wounds need to heal for you to evolve, to be in these higher versions of yourself more and more. But it is a gradual experience. It's a gradual evolving healing journey. And we have to be patient. Or you don't have to be patient, but if you're not patient, you will suffer. And if you don't want to suffer, then it's easier to surrender, and it's easier to accept that we are healing. We are transforming, you can say. I know that my account it says Heal with Susanna, but in a deeper way, I know that we already healed. We are transforming energy. Everything is energy, and the wounds are also an aspect of us that is wanting to come into our light. And when it comes into our light, when we love our wounded aspects, then we transmute them, then we transform them into who we really are. So that is how you healing something. You just love it. But that is also a learning process. it has to take time for us to see who we really are, and just let it. Don't be in a rush. Don't hurry with the process, because it will just unravel by itself. And be patient with yourself. And I always say it, but I really mean it. Be kind to yourself in the process, because healing can be really tough. And you won't really get away from the pain, but you can surrender to it, and then it will move through you a lot faster if we don't cling on to the wounds anymore. But they have to be felt to move through us, or to be transmuted. So, yes. And I started to talk about the awakening and the unawakened people, that we have our different paths, and we have our own unique path. Like my evolving and my path is my path. I can always share with you what I have been experiencing and how I do it and how I see it. But maybe you will see it in a different way and feel in a different way. But then you can trust yourself. What you're feeling is, what feels good to you is your path. And that we have to be humble to the unawakened people, because we are in different stages and we can't escape that. We can't make people do something that we want to do. We can't make people see what they don't see, because maybe their higher self has a plan for them that they are not supposed to be awakened yet. They are not supposed to be awake at all at this lifetime. And we have to respect that. You don't have to respect, but again, you will suffer if you try to. Maybe they will suffer if you can't handle them or respect them or see them as a whole person. Either way, they are awakened or not. It doesn't matter. The best you can do is to focus on your own path. Focus on your own life. Focus on your own healing, and you will heal. Because I have learned when I am trying to make someone understand, or trying to make them be what they're not ready to be yet, I am the one who is suffering. I am the one who is complaining a lot about them, but maybe they aren't there yet. What I want to say is, they want to be something that they're not ready for yet, but I'm making them see the bad part with it, and that is making them suffer. Instead, I want them to see as a whole right from the beginning, that they are whole, that they are perfect as they are, right where they are. They are just in their own path and in their own journey. And we aren't the same. We are not having the same path. But I, as an individual, I can always help other people, or I can help someone near me maybe by seeing them as a whole. Right now, I can see them as perfect. Where they are is where they are supposed to be. And if you feel drawn to someone, maybe they have a higher aspect of them that wants to hear something from you. Maybe then they are ready to hear some truths. Maybe they are here for the awakening, and you can help them. But then you will. I feel that you will feel that. You will see if they are receptive of the information that you have or not. And if they're not ready, they will not hear you. They will not see you. And that is okay. It's not personal. It's just that they aren't ready for what you are saying or for what you are wanting them to see. So don't take it personal if they don't hear you. They're just on their own path. And we have to let things unravel in a safe way. And when we do that, we need to just be sometimes, and we need to be slowing down and we have to awake a little bit at a time. We can't know just everything in one second or one healing. We have to do it gradually. And therefore maybe your healing journey will be long, or maybe it will be really short. It depends on your knowingness of who you are. But be humble where you are, and don't judge yourself when you're going in to the ego, because that's a part of the human journey as well. It's just a part of everything, the learning process. You can see the world as a school, as a just learning ground, that we learn. Nothing is wrong. We're just learning. Like, oh, I did that didn't work. Maybe I can do it differently next time. Oh, that did work. Oh, yeah, you know the deal. And just watch other humans and see that how they are reacting and how they are being is either they're on their path, on the awakening, and on who, maybe they are on the path of who they really are, or maybe they are on the path of learning. Maybe they are the path of being just human, being in the experience. And everything is okay. Everything is okay. And everything is well. Even though it doesn't seem like it or feel like it. But don't focus so much on the outside world, because it's already created. It's already a creation that we have been created, or that you have been creating. It's already done. So if you want to create a new world, a new you have to be in the knowing of who you really are. How do you want to present yourself in the world? How do you feel like you really are? Because we aren't our wounds, and I will say that so many times, but that's the truth. We aren't our wounds. It's just a product of what we've been experiencing, or of what we are being in right now. But we aren't it. So when you're standing in your truth, when you have reached that wholeness of who you really are, or the knowing, just the knowing, maybe you don't feel like you, but have you just reached the knowing of who you are, you can stand in the midst of the biggest chaos, and you can feel everything that's horrible, everything that is pain, everything that is wounds, and you can still know who you are. You are being sovereign in your field of knowing who you are, and you can still go through all the shit that you are going through, or that you feel, but you know, you have the inner knowing, like this is all an experience, and this is all for the greater good of the humanity, and it's all for me. It's all for me to heal. And when you have that knowing, you get pretty not always invincible, but you get pretty strong. in who you are in your challenges. When you face challenges, you will just see like, yep, this is a wound, I can feel it, but you know who you are, and you just feel it through. Maybe you scream, maybe you yell, maybe you cry, but you want to feel that and let it be you at the moment, because it's all is perfect. And yeah, to wrap this up, I want to say, be humble to each other. Don't compare yourself with others. Focus on your own path, on your own journey, on your own healing, who you are and who you really are. Don't get so engaged in what others doing or being or saying. Focus on you. And let yourself feel. It's nothing wrong. We have to learn that it's nothing wrong with feelings. Okay, I have one more example. I was outside yesterday when I felt this really heavy feeling, and I was triggered by something that made me sad, that made me feel unworthy. It felt depressing. I felt really depressed. Then I went outside in the woods. I went out for a cry. I wanted to cry. And I cried just a little. I was holding on to the pain a little bit. But then I felt like I wanted to release it. And then I met this person, this stranger. And I instantly felt like, oh, I can't show myself like this. I can't show myself like this. It's embarrassing. And I really want us to know that is a part of us that we don't want to be anymore. That is a part of us that we aren't. We aren't that. We have to be more safe with our emotions. It's okay to express yourself, and it's okay to cry. Like, oh my God, why can't we cry in front of each other? Why? Is it so horrible? Is it so dangerous to be vulnerable? I can't really get that. With my inner knowing, I know that is so bullshit, actually. To not cry. Why? We have been told that. We have been brainwashed to know that isn't okay to express emotions, to feel emotions. And it is okay to express emotions. And I want you to feel safe to do that, because I haven't felt that for a very, very long time, like my whole life, maybe lifetimes. And I feel like it's time for us to make that a normal state of being, expressing and feel. Because I feel like this is a long video now, or I have so much to say, but I feel like I want to say it right now. In our society today, we are being so easily diagnosed with mental health issues. Like it's an issue that we feel. And I see it just as we are healing something, but then we get so caught up in the emotions that we are getting stuck in this depression or anxiety, or I'm not enough, I'm not here for a reason, I'm angry and therefore something is wrong with me, I'm sad, nothing is changing, I'm all stuck here. And it's all an illusion. It is all an illusion. But then we get all these meds and we get this diagnosis. Then we get caught up in the diagnosis. Then we have the diagnosis. Then we are the diagnosis. And then we have the diagnosis the rest of our lives. And it couldn't be more wrong. I feel that isn't resonating with me. And I just want everyone who is going under this or going through this mental health problems, it isn't a problem, and there is nothing wrong with you. That it has never been wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with what you're feeling, but we get stuck in it. So we hold on to it, so it doesn't transform, it doesn't transmute, it doesn't go through us. But I think maybe they do it. You're doing enough anyway, whatever you are. But I really want you to know that nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. So don't ever let yourself say that you are doing wrong, that you are doing it wrong, that you are wrong. And don't let anyone else get under your skin and say that you have an illness. Because you are whole as you are. And you are just experiencing that, what you are right now. You are perfect. You are whole. And without judgment, we are really, we are speeding up the process of awakening if we stop judging. But then you have to stop judging that you are judging sometimes. And that is also that can be hard. Because the mind and the ego always want to judge, and it's want to judge others and you, and they want to judge and they don't want to judge, and it's really confusing. But don't judge the judging and do not judge. You get it? So thank you. I think I'm done right now. So be who you are, because you're perfect in any way, and the rest will just unravel as it's perfect. Yes. Don't be in a rush. I love you.